Let's get things started.
Paula Faris knows what it means to have a dream job.
Welcome to The View.
And in her case, two of them. Co-host of The View.
And we say good Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us.
And anchor of Good Morning America's Weekend Edition.
So, I worked really hard. I rose the ranks at ABC fairly quickly.
But it wasn't all she thought it would be. And in fact, the success came with a whole lot of chaos for Paula.
And I felt like my personal life was falling apart around me. Yes, I was at a professional high at the height of my career, but I looked around, Jenna, and the landscape around me was on fire.
Paula opens up about her experience in the new book, Called Out: Why I Traded Two Dream Jobs for a Life of True Calling.
My relationships were suffering with my husband, with my kids, with God. I wasn't attending church regularly because I couldn't due to my schedule. My health started to suffer, and I felt this stirring in my spirit that God really wanted me to take a step to the side, but I challenged him at first and I said, but didn't you call me to do this? This is my calling. I'm walking in my calling. Look, I'm doing this all for you.
She says getting to this point came after a season of trials.
And it wasn't until I went through a season of hell, which I write about in the book. And Jenna, within 7 months, I felt a little like Job. I experienced 5 major events. I had a miscarriage with an emergency surgery. And then I suffered a concussion at work through a very freak accident where someone threw an object at my head right before I was going live for Good Morning America. The day I got cleared to go back to work after being knocked out from the concussion, I get in a head-on car crash. That's incident number 3. Incident number 4 is influenza, and then I developed pneumonia. So that was 5 incidents or major events within 7 months of my life. And I said, okay, God, I understand. You want me to slow down because my professional and personal choices are clashing with my professed values, and my family's getting my leftover.
So she took a step back, and that came with its own set of challenges.
And then in that space, Jenna, I realized I had no idea who I was outside of my job. My identity and my purpose was in career, was in work, was in vocation, was in this calling on my life.
What do you see as your true calling now?
I do. What I see as my true calling, first of all, it's a word we throw out all the time, Jenna, isn't it? And we lean in, but it's so packed with career. It's like married to career, calling career, value, vocation, worth, work. What God really revealed to me in this season, where I write a majority of the book, is that we have these 2 callings on our life. We have a faith calling, which is our purpose on this earth. It is why we are here, and it will never move. It will never shake. It will never be uprooted when there's a pandemic or a personal crisis. It's who you are. For me, it is to love God and love people. A personal crisis is never going to shake that.
Including something called COVID-19.
A pandemic will never shake loving God and loving people and why I'm here. My vocational calling will change, okay? And my vocational calling, yes, well, it's what I do. It's the vehicle. I see it now as the vehicle by which I will love God and love people. It's the conduit. It's going to change. Expect it to change. Allow God to branch out, to not see yourself so one-dimensionally.
Her career has certainly not been one-dimensional, and she's seen many changes along the way. Today, she's a correspondent for ABC News.
This is nothing that you saw for yourself.
And hosts the network's popular podcast, Journeys of Faith with Paula Faris. Paula says she no longer sees herself as just a broadcaster.
I say, I'm someone who's curious. I am a questioner. I am dogged, and I will champion people. And guess what? God can use that in a myriad of different ways, on a myriad of different branches. But I just have to remember what I'm doing and who I'm doing it for. It's not about me.
For her, it's about loving God, loving people, and being in the spotlight, letting God's love shine through her and her work. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.